And one thing I've realized, if a Zulu guy has to explain to you, he will make sure that you understand every line. But Umbedi, he wants you to read between the lines. He doesn't care whether you understand or not. Because if a Zulu guy was beating someone, yeah, for it. Wawela phansi ungamvuza ungamhlanganisa nodonga ungamshaya nje ungamshaya kanje balamulo makhi kanti ke ngibhizi ngaye ngiyashaya bale peli kaye ilese ngothola ngomli yakho ukhosiphethe the best Tshwane FM 93.6
Say drama with a couple DJ 40 Nation and Ground Technique Divine No Just K DJ Sois the best DJ Kasan somebody this is my Dandani this is the Panova listening to Tshwane FM 93.6
Mama, asibonakele ukuthela yakhe ngaphezulu konakele umhlaba konkehlule ilole ayikho lula mama, asibonakele ukuthela yakhe ngaphezulu konakele umhlaba konkehlule ilole ayikho lula. Moya fisa ukwenza kahle omhlaba kungehlule moya fisa ukwenza kahle philole ayikho lula kola moya wami kola moya wami kola moya wami
Hey, Chakarao. Sharp, ready, Prayak?
Yeah, no, okay.
Okay, please stay on the line.
Moya fisa ukwenza kahle omhlaba kungehlule moya fisa ukwenza kahle philole ayikho lula kola moya wami kola moya wami
34 minutes after the hour, 6 o'clock. It's a great evening once more. This is Nomcebo Zigod. It's a song titled Kola Moya Wami. She's the vocalist on the international song Elaya Haile Master KG Jerusalem. Great vibes, great music from this young lady. Indeed, 2020 has been just amazing for her with her new album right there, with Kola Moya Wami being one of the favorite songs meant to have come out from that song. 35 now after 6 o'clock. This is exactly where we are. This is the Capital Talk right on Tshwane FM 93.6. My name is Mokete Radebe, your host tonight. I am your news pioneer. We're doing amazing things, myself and you tonight. And remember that it's a Thursday and it's a sports Thursday. We are looking at numerous things in the sports corner, man. As I did mention that we've got a guest today, that is Mr. Karabo Pasha. He's a sports analyst, and we're looking at numerous things in the football circle. workers in our country today. And of course, on the flip side of that, we speak to Mr. Machesa Kgomo from the Tshwane University of Technology. And of course, later on the show, we speak fitness with Steve, very in shape, man. December is coming. Mr. Pasha, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us, my brother. Karabo, hi, how are you, my brother? I'm battling to hear you. Are you able to move around? Hi, Karabo. I am battling to hear you. Hello? You know what? Let me do this. Let me try to call you again. Okay, awesomeness. We're going to try and call Karabo back. Let's just take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to have him on the line. Hey, Tom. Karabo. Hello. Karabo. Hello. Hello? Karabo. Hey, sir. All right, awesomeness. Sure. Hey, Tom. Yeah, sure. Just stay on the line, yeah? Sure. 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 38 after 6 o'clock. It's a great evening once more. We do have Mr. Pasha back with us on the line as promised, and we'll be looking at numerous things in the sports space. Mr. Pasha, thank you so much for joining us.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you very much for having me, and good evening to your listeners as well.
Indeed. Karabo, I think just top on the list in terms of football particularly, I mean, we've seen how women football has actually, being the talk of the town. I mean, with Banyana win the COSAFA, competition. Just, a brief analysis in terms of that. Are we seeing a rise in performance and talent identification? I mean, seeing new faces in the Banyana team. Can you just repeat that? I think can you just repeat that, please, Okay. I'm saying we've seen how Banyana has actually just made strides with the COSAFA Cup, and these were fairly new faces. Is this a good sign that in terms of the development and talent identification of young women, that South Africa has actually got its grip when it comes to that specifically?
Yeah, listen, Mokete, I think, the rise of Banyana over the last couple of years has been pretty special, to be honest. And first and foremost, just before we go deeper into that, Mokete, I think let's look at the head coach, that is Jessie Ellis. I mean, this is a person or woman, if you like, that herself, she's a former Banyana player and a sports skipper of Banyana. That tells you the type of player she is, her leadership qualities. I mean, she's been able to bring in quality players. One that comes to mind is the young Tembikatan. I mean, what she's done out in the World Cup a couple of years ago, just shows the type of quality that she is. And I think in terms of Banyana going and women's football in South Africa, I think it's now time that SAFA really, stands up and really recognizes them, because the talent is absolutely second to none. And I hope and pray that, women's football does go in leaps and bounds, because these women, they've been at World Cups, they've been at Olympics, they're winning COSAFA tournaments, they are going far in the Africa Cup of Nations in terms of the women. And so I think it's high time that, these women are really appreciated and given what is due to them. And you are a TUT, you've seen the type of talent that TUT itself has got. I think they've won, numerous tournaments in terms of the women. So that tells you the type of quality that South Africa has in terms of women. So I think we are on the up and up in terms of women football in South Africa.
Speaking about the giving Banyana the recognition that they deserve, there is now, plans underway to pay Bafana and Banyana the same amount. What do you make of that? And do you think it's something that has been long overdue? And largely, what do you think is the practical plans that the country's football federation could be having in terms of making sure that they beef up this?
Yeah, I think they'll be quite fit. I mean, in comparison to the male counterparts, let's be quite fair and frank. The only tournament that Bafana have won is back in 1996, and Banyana, they've done, numerous things. I mean, as I said a couple of moments ago, that they've won, of course, they've won the COSAFA Cup 7 times and 4 times in succession. And, in terms of finances, I think it's high time that they get, paid the same, because it's well deserved. These are absolute heroes in terms of South African football, and these are people that are putting South Africa on the map, not just continentally but worldwide as well. I mean, we are now respected, in world football in terms of Banyana because of what they've been able to do on the pitch. So it's high time that they are really, given what is due to them financially, and that will also help them to feed their families. I think there's a legend that passed on a couple of days ago, Truly, a former Banyana player as well. Her living status, just before she passed on, wasn't really a glorious one, but what she's been able to achieve with Banyana is also special. So why can't we give them what is due to them, what they deserve? So I think it's going to be quite fair and frank if they are, given the same salaries as the male counterparts in that regard.
43 minutes after 6 o'clock. Tshwane FM 93.6. It's where we're at. We're coming through to you live on Facebook. It is Tshwane Space FM Space 93.6. Otherwise, we are on YouTube. It is Mokete Radebe there. And on Twitter, it's at Tshwane FM. On the line, I'm joined by Mr. Karabo Pasha. He's a sports analyst, and we are discussing football matters around the country. Karabo, do you think Banyana, it's a great example of how women are still treated in our country? I mean, the fact that they remain overlooked, irrespective of the potential that they hold. And I think one of the other things that were mentioned was the fact that at Banyana games, we don't find a lot of supporters, going there. And it's not even just about males, even females don't watch Banyana. What do you think causes that?
Listen, I think it's simply because, the women are not prioritized, Mokete. And remember, a game of football, it really also needs sponsors. I think also Banyana should be having sponsors, not just them, but women's football. I think the National League started last season with Tshwane announced purely, they blew everyone out of the water. These are, records that show that Banyana and women's football deserve to be on the up and up. And I think in terms of supporters, we've seen a lack of support in terms of women's football. It's simply because they are not being supported, they are not being marketed, as the male counterpart. I mean, if you can see now what the PSU Premiership is doing in terms of advertising, why don't you do the same with Banyana?
Correct.
Because they are delivering, they are, doing their level best in terms of support. So I think that's what they need. They really need that support, that guidance, that maximization of marketing them, because I'm running out of superlatives trying to explain how good they are, how they should be getting the support, the bums in stadiums, to support them and give them that guile and that emotional support as well for them to go further, because they really need it. There's nothing more to add on to that. They've performed on the pitch. They've done miraculous things on the pitch. They've won to World Cup. They've won to Olympics. They've won COSAFA Cup. They've won. They've been far in the African Women's Champions Cup. So they need to be there, Mokete. They need the support. They need the support in stadiums as well. They need financial support. They need the marketing as well. So it's high time that they are giving that, Mokete, in all due respect, to Bafana Bafana as well.
And just jumping into Bafana Bafana now, and Mamelodi Sundowns, midfielder Andre Jali said to miss the DStv Premiership against Amazulu this coming Sunday as striker Kemit Erasmus remains doubtful due to injury. And this, I think, affected coach Ntseki Molefi's plans as well in terms of Bafana Bafana. Just looking at how Bafana Bafana has started in that group where they are. What is your your view on that? Are you quite happy with their performance at this point in time?
I think we'll delve much more deeper into that with the current 2 games that they played up against Tshwane. In all honesty, the first game they played out at Moses Mabhida Stadium last week Friday. Mokete, the first half performance pretty lethargic, very poor. They couldn't, put together 5-6 passes together. And this is we played against a country that doesn't have a professional league. Some of the players of South Tshwane, they're playing out in Europe, but in the lowest division, more or less, 18 the league out in Europe. So this is a team that, with all due respect to them, we should be beating 4-5-0 up against them, and we were only able to score those 2 goals in the second half. A very disappointing and lethargic performance in the first half, but in the second half, I think things got much more better, particularly one player that comes to mind is Bawani Zungu in terms of the performance that he put in. And you can also recall that I think he was playing for his future in terms of Bafana Bafana, because you recall that there was a bit of a misunderstanding between him and the head coach, Mokete Radebe. He was the one who really, ensured that Bafana Bafana played well, particularly in the second half, alongside December Tshwane and Kretita. So the first game, lethargic. I think the second one on Monday out in Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium, the performance was much more better, or played in patches, really have to be played in patches. I mean, at one stage it looked like it was going to be a draw until, we made crucial changes towards the later stages of the game, where we saw Kemit Erasmus coming in and, making a good change in terms of performance for Bafana Bafana, and that's where we won the game 4-2. But I think with all due respect, South Tshwane also scoring 2 goals against us. It's uncalled for. With all due respect to them, I mean, we are Bafana Bafana, the quality players, spread all around the pitch, players who are playing the football out in Europe, the top clubs. I mean, as I said, Bawani Zungu playing out at the ranges that we being coached by top coach Steven Jawa, who's played the game at the highest level, a guy that played, Champions League football year in, year out. It's got Kretita, who's playing for one of the best clubs out in Europe, that is Anderlecht. So we've got quality players, Kemba Zwane as well, who's the footballer of the season, player of the season in the past campaign. So this is a team that we should have put to the sword. And for them to score 2 goals against us really says a lot about Bafana Bafana. And I think we might be struggling if we do qualify for AFCON next year, because, listen, we've got quality players, but it looks like, the system that we're playing is still not where we should be, to be quite honest with you, Mokete.
Karabo, quite often when teams are not doing well, and whether whether it's at national level or at Premier Soccer League level, for instance, the blame is always being put on the coach. My biggest question here is, and with what you were saying now, that you were quite satisfied with the assembling of the players. My next question then would be: is it the attitude of the players? Or is it the instructions that are given to them that do not seem to work? And if that's the case, what more do you think needs to be added into this team? Because of the problem, Bafana Bafana is not something that started, in this previous matches. It didn't start with Molefi. It has been a long-standing issue. At this point in time, I'm not even sure if we are building or we have built. And I mean, just to check with, what do you think could be the solution in this regard?
I had an opportunity to speak to the former Orlando Pirates coach a couple of weeks ago. That is, what's his name, Milici Sarajevic. He's now the coach of Zambia. South African players, when they call into the national team, there's a monetary benefit, so they pay you before you come to camp. I think I haven't done my research that far yet, but I'm being told that South Africa is one of the few countries that does it. Mokete. Why should you be paid money for you to represent your own country? Where have you seen that? Zambian players, when they are called up to the national team, you only get paid money for your bonus if only you win a certain match, be it a friendly, be it a qualifier, be it in a tournament. Before you are out to camp, you should be paid. What does that say, Mokete? Are you saying that you are motivated by your financial gain? Are you not supposed to play for the crest in front of your heart? That is the Bafana logo. I think that is something that we have to look at, particularly SAFA as they are the custodians of South African football. It begs the question: are you there for the money? Are you there for football and losing? That is something that we really have to have a deeper look at, because I think that is one problem that we also have facing at the moment. And I saw a video a couple of days ago with Junior Kanye also doing his NLC. He says that agents are playing a big role in South African football. I mean, you find an agent at the team hotel, Bafana Hotel, in the wee hours of the morning. What are you doing there? I mean, it's not a coach, it's not a national selector. What exactly is he doing there? Is he looking for a player to play for the national team? Possibly. So these are the things that we really have to drain into our players. Remember, back in 1996, when we won AFCON, as well as 98, when we played our first World Cup out in France, it was just about building. The talent was extraordinary. We had top players, top quality players that were also playing out in Europe in top countries as well. Those players, what they wanted was to play for Bafana, to represent the country, not for monetary issues. So I think that is the gulf in class in terms of the current players and the players of yesterday and I think that gives you an answer. It's monetary value versus your national team. That is the gulf in class in terms of Bafana now and Bafana of the FM era.
I hear you. But I think the other thing for me is, and now that you've mentioned the dialectical relations between agents and their influence on coaches, another big question, and this has been always on people's lips, the selection of players. Are South African national team coaches being given the freedom to really plan around the teams and select who they feel are the right people? Because I think the one thing for me, Karabo, that I've picked up as well is that apart from the other officials that come through back doors to influence the coach, it seems as if coaches as well look at players that seem to be praised popularly by fans and then want to select them. Because what I've also realized is that some players are good at club level and they struggle at national, at international level, and maybe that's another thing. And my bigger question is, don't we perhaps have advisors to the coach, and why isn't there a big involvement of ex footballers, your former Bafana players, your former as we see with your likes of Maradona being involved with your Argentina and all these other players in the previous countries? Why is there a break in that relationship?
Spot on, Mokete. I think that's a million dollar question, Mokete. I think it comes back to who's running football in your federation. Top nations, Mokete. Let's start off with the coaches in top nations.
Sure.
Mokete. You look at Joachim Löw. He's German. He's coaching Germany. You look at Spain. It's coached by a Spanish man. I think they're a former Barcelona coach as well, and he's Spanish. He's returning for the second time. He's guided by people who play for the national team, people who know what it means to play for a national team. He's also supported by ex-footballers, one pointed away. It's not done in South Africa, Mokete. And we've been advocating this for years and years and years, but it's not happening. I mean, I remember a couple of, I'm not sure if it's a couple of months or years back, where Kgomo Machesa was campaigning to become the SAFA president. He was simply kicked out, to say the least. And this is a guy who's highly revered. They respect him. He walks the water out of Leeds United Football Club. He's got a stand named after him out of Leeds. That is how they love him. That is how they respect him. That is how they caress him. They kiss him when he's out at Leeds United. In South Africa, he's more or less of, well, you played for Bafana. You're the captain of Bafana. You're the captain of Kenya Chiefs. But you are nobody after that. That is sad, Mokete. That is absolutely sad. I mean, these are guys that should be coming back to Bafana and also to these football clubs. I mean, how many legends are you seeing giving back to South African football now at club level, Mokete? It's quite sad. And it's something that we should really have a look at. And let me just make a promise to you, Mokete. Next week, I'll try possibly to speak to someone and just to have a clearer understanding wondering as to why that is happening at national team level, also at club level. I mean, in world football, you correctly pointed out to Diego Maradona. He's the guy that played for Maradona, coached, who played for Argentina, and also coached Argentina. He was here in 2010 when I think they reached the semi-final. You know, sometimes when you coach by Diego Maradona, let's say, for example, you are a young player and you see a Maradona sitting there coaching you, it instills, you know, fear and that thing of, I want to go an extra mile for Diego Maradona. That's why I'm football god in my nation. I want to show that, you know, this is the guy that I want to play for. And also gives me that extra motivation that I'm coached by a football god, a football icon. In South Africa, it's some totally different. It also, you know, begs the question, why is it happening out in South African football and also at club level?
You're correct. I mean, it's appalling to find that politicians are more or businessmen are more involved in football than people. I mean, it's just embarrassing that Steven Gerrard, who recently retired, is a football manager. Yet you have your people like Edward Mutale, you have your people like Themba Mnguni, who are at Sundowns and still at junior level. When there's positions at Orlando Pirates, when there's positions on all these other football clubs. I mean, and these people are people who retired way before you, Steven Gerrard. And I mean, you know, and you know, from time to time, and I'm telling you this, Karabo, and maybe that's part of the challenge that we're facing as a continent and as a country, that we look at race so much. If Steven Gerrard was hired in South Africa, you know, we're going to say because he's white. But I mean, we have black teams that are owned by black people with black legends that are not employed, and that causes a point forward. But I know that I see now that time is up against us. I want to ask you this one, a very interesting one as well. That Motsepe is running for being the, you know, the president. What do you make of that?
I think in terms of business sense, it makes perfect sense. He's a guy that, you know, a proper billionaire. I think he's only a black billionaire on the African continent in terms of South Africa. In US dollars, never mind rand. Top human being. I had an opportunity to speak to him and when they were unveiling us in a couple of seasons ago, very humble. I think in terms of business sense, it makes perfect sense. There's a guy that is going to change the face of African football in terms of bringing in sponsors, taking, you know, African football to the next level. I'm just concerned in terms of the changes that he might bring on the pitch. That is the challenge that I have. But in terms of, you know, business sense, I think he's a top candidate, and he was also backed by top guys. Mokete. I mean, he's been backed by a person that should have been, in my own understanding, the president of CAF. That is Amaju Pinnick, the president of the Nigerian Federation. When he actually heard that Dr. Petrus Mutsepe is running for the seat of CAF presidency, he withdrew his and saying, I'm backing him. That's how big a man he is in African football, and considering that what he's been able to do with Mamelodi Sundowns a couple of seasons ago, winning the Champions League as well as the African Super Cup a couple of months later, it tells you the type of you know, person he is, the type of idea that he has. You also recall back in 2012 in the press conference when they were unveiling Coach Peter Msimani, he said that, you know, his idea is to conquer African football. That has been achieved in my own understanding. I mean, Sundowns now, they're well feared out in African football. I mean, you could see what they did to Ali a couple of months ago, 5-0 out in the capital. They played against the Zamalek. You know, they've made, you know, what lightweight of these clubs, big clubs. South African football is now respected because of guys like that, because of guys like Dr. Mutsepe. So for him running for African president, I think it's good in terms of the marketing. I think there is going to be a change. You'll see that in the next couple of years if he does win it. But in terms of on the pitch, I think, you know, there might be a couple of changes that might change when he gets used to it. But I think it will be a successful, you know, for him to sit. I think it will be something positive, not just for African football, but for South African football as well. It will give, you know, more respect to us South Africans on the African continent as well as globally. So I think it's a faithful change, the change that is needed, the change that is wanted. And if it does happen, South Africa will definitely go in all aspects in terms of football.
Mr. Pasha, thank you so much for your time. This is where we'll end it. I know that you've got other engagements that are waiting for you. May you have a great evening, sir.
Mokete, Let me lastly apologize for not being able to come to studio. I give you my word. Next week I'll be there. Let me apologize to you live on air as well as to your listeners as well. My utmost apologies. I truly do apologize, but I swear, and if given the opportunity, I will be with you the next week. And I'm so sorry, my friend. My apologies.
Thank you so much, my brother. You are forgiven.
Thank you.
It's 7 o'clock and top of the hour. That was Mr. Karabo Pasha giving us an exclusive analysis in terms of the South African football, interesting things that are happening in that space. And I must say that this man has got a wealth of knowledge. And this is a man that we shared a class with. And I'm quite excited with the kind of work that he's doing. He's currently one of the leading, analysts in terms of sports and particularly football in South Africa and in Africa. So to say, and this is what he had to say. And just in news in today, certainly quite a star and entertainment personality, Nomasonto Maswangayi, popularly known as Umshoza, has died today. The 37-year-old was known for her hit song Cortes. She was outspoken on a number of issues, including gender-based violence, and shared her experience of intimate partner violence in the year 2018. Masonga is survived by 2 children. The cause of death has not been released at this point in time. Ambitious Entertainment said that the music industry has once again lost one of its amazing artists, the Queen of Quiet Mshoza, and they would like to send their sincere sympathies to her family and friends. May her soul rest in eternal peace. And indeed, as Tshwane FM as well, we join the queue. We say, lungehlanga, may her soul rest in peace. But our sincere condolences to her family. I think, no family deserves to bury their child. And I think this is quite sad. Man. Oh, Mshoza. Let's play one song. This is a tribute to Mshoza. It's her hit song, Cortes, where she's featuring Mzambia.
Usipendelele chika wangani, kuwapita moja aiseko nevami. Pesa, awe, kukitimikasi, kupenda kukukwasi, komele pusa mate, yakumana kwenye sekuta, kushukumu msimba, katingia bizwa, shosidami, matingia zizwa, yakumana kwenye kabisa basali, kukishani amani, matingiga nembali, izokumana kwenye Simpete nestamto, soppo di sambato, soppo che ne dato. I've got this, know you're shining sun. I've got this, know you're good sun. Got this, know you're shining sun. I've got this, know you're good sun. I've got this, know you're shining sun. I've got this, know you're good sun. Got this, know you're shining sun. I've just got, know you're good sun. Oh, know you're shining sun. On the storm, know you're good sun. Oh, know you're shining sun. On the storm, know you're good sun. Got this, know you're shining sun. On the storm, know you're good sun. Got this, know you're shining sun. On the storm, know you're good sun. On the storm, know you're shining sun. Know you're good sun.
Call us now. 010-382-4936. That's 010-382-4936.
I wanna be in your soul. You know who's born, we do like famous. To know that she is not around anymore. She's so Kgomo. You put joy in our hearts, we miss you. We will always miss you. We have pleasure in allowing you. Your dedication, going through your place in the industry. You stay focused despite all odds you may need. Things that are vision, hope and joy to be to know that she is not around anymore. We miss you. She's on you could join me, mama. You need to bring I need my own man to fuss it. We're missing. You see, I let you know the fussy. We won't remember who you did. I will remember who you do. We won't remember who I blew. We won't remember when the fussy. We won't listen. You see, I need my own man to fussy. We won't listen. You see, I let you know the fussy.
talking about the Queen Bee Diva, yo. Cause every time she sings, she make me shiver, yo. You all the niggas cussing us is my bro. You even nearly put some of my home. If you don't know the dance floor, it's a show. Stage act, still know I like you. The bottom of my heart, I love you.
Look, this brings back to the one and only queen of the streets. The one moment, the one two up in your feet, the one pop every single time. From the start to the rest of the party, I'm a amateur. With all the standards you had, you stay strong. You never gave up on your dreams, you kept on. Sometimes it will never be the same without you.
Sweet melody, your name will never die. I wonder how fast it's gonna be without you, okay? Yeah, who would have been with you?
Shining star, and such a stuff comes only once in a lifetime. Your voice will rain on for years to come, yeah. In your memory, that's all.
Tshwane FM 93.6, Cap City's #1 radio station.
What if President Facebook book and
Eita. Orembraka. Lovely. Into. Give me just on the line. Sharp.
Capital Breakfast
on Tshwane FM.
Monday to Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. #Rise to the morning.
The people have spoken. Unlock room 912.
Good morning, my favorite lady, Lena.
Hi, how are you?
How are you, mother?
Oh, good thing.
Oh, you make me to every time like I must lose myself to room myself because of your voice.
Oh, wow, thank you. We must continue. How's your day?
So good. Just let me hear your beautiful voice. Oh, man.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Now, man, that guy, man. It's not everyone who moves around alive on air. The lady is like you. You know, why was it well over? Man, come to the 15. That is so bad.
Room 912 weekdays on Tshwane FM 93.6.
It's 14 minutes after 7 o'clock, and we are still on Tshwane FM 93.6. We are the station that continues to rock you most. The Capital Talk. It's the title of the show that you're tuning in at this point in time. My name is Mokete Radebe, your news pioneer. We're having a lovely, evening today as we're discussing numerous things in that sports corner. On the line, we're now joined by Mr. Machesa Kgomo. He is the senior sports organizer, at the Tshwane University of Technology at the Pretoria campus. Mr. Machesa, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Mokete. Good evening to the listeners and yourself.
Interesting, Sam. Just jumping straight into sport, if you can take us through in terms of what was happening at TUT Sport today.
Yeah,
Today, generally, on the Director of Sport and Recreation, together with the HOD of Victoria Campus, Director, which is Dr. Shadrach Ntageni, and the HOD, which is Mr. Nange, hosted a send-off function to our two football teams, which is Vikings FC and as well as the TUT men's high performance team, who are about to play in the Safa Tshwane Regional League playoffs this weekend on Saturday at the University of Pretoria. So the function was to wish them well and all the best with regards to them maybe getting a shot in getting promoted to the higher league, which is ABC Mokete League.
Interesting. Just a quick one in terms of now the many other things that the department has been doing in that regard. COVID-19 has affected a lot of organizations and a lot of sports entities. How did you guys manage to keep the team intact during this COVID-19? And of course, how have the preparations been just leading up to this playoffs that you guys are going to?
Yeah, it has been a difficult period, not only for us, but many people and organizations. But I think the most important thing is how we plan and face the challenges that you have ahead of you. But as soon as we got hit by the pandemic and there was a lockdown enforced in March, we were busy with the league, but as soon as the student athletes went home, then we had to come up with a plan. And I think the key thing is working together with management, the technical team, myself, and all those involved in football to see how we can maintain the standards that we've always had, countering the pandemic. But from that period of March until we got back, we tried to make sure that the players and the coaches are in contact weekly, and there's programs that are distributed to training programs that are distributed to the players, which means there was a lot of virtual meetings and also individual training sessions that players had. Obviously, they would gradually increase weekly or monthly. So we're working together with the biokineticist, which is Mr. Prescott Matlangu, who was assisting us very much in terms of how the players get fit and return back into shape. So I think that was key, that all of us work together and plan ahead in terms of countering what we were faced with. In terms of returning to the university, I think it was a bit difficult because, remember, university on its own has its own regulations in terms of working with the task team, COVID-19 task team, which has its own regulations in terms of usage of facilities and all that. So it was a bit difficult, but as sport, we also have our facilities personnel who make sure that the facilities are prepared in terms of what is needed. And also we were communicating with the federation, which is Safa Tshwane, on behalf of the main Safa house. And they also had their regulations that we had to meet up with. For example, we had to have compliance officers who make sure that we comply with all the rules and regulations. And also the players and the technical team respect those regulations. But I think from to date, I think all has went well, and we've not had any cases thus far in preparation for the playoffs this weekend.
It's 19 minutes after 7 o'clock. Let's speak about the awards now. I know that you guys are busy with awards. Let's speak about that. Just a brief on that.
Yes, our ladies have done so well, I think, in the 2019-2020 season in the Safa National Women's League. They've done very well, and today it was the Tshwane. It's currently the Tshwane Women in Sport awards, which are happening currently on Facebook, on the Footballing Girls Facebook page, is streamed, and we were nominated in 3 categories. The first one, we were nominated Team of the Year in Tshwane. The second one is the Administrator of the Year, which is Chila Mlaudzi. She's the team manager of the ladies team. And then the third one is Hilda Mahaya. Everyone knows her. She was the star at the COSAFA Cup. Recently, she was the player of the tournament. She has been nominated as the Sportswoman of the Year as well. And we are proud to have such nominations. And we hope that they'll back those awards and make the university proud.
Interesting. It's 21 minutes after 7 o'clock. Tshwane FM 93.6 is exactly where we are. And that is Mr. Machesa that is speaking to us at this point in time. And just going into these games, just back into the playoffs once more, the Machesa. I know that people are not necessarily, going to be allowed to watch the games. But if you can just give us an update in terms of when is it happening and where are they being hosted?
Yeah. On what happened in terms of the playoffs is that it's 2 streams that we were playing in SAFA Tshwane, which is stream A and B, and SAFA with TUT Football Club, the high performance team, they were playing in the stream B, which they ended up in top 4. And then in the stream A, it was Viking FC. They also ended up in top 4. So both streams, their top 4s, will play against each other on Saturday, whereby we'll find the semi-finalists at 3 o'clock, and then on Sunday it will be the finalists, and the winner in the final on Sunday will play in the SAFA Gauteng playoffs, and the top 2 teams or the finalists in the SAFA Gauteng will then be promoted to the ABC Municipal League. So this weekend there will be 8 teams participating, and the team who wins position 1 or who wins the finals will get a chance to play at the SAFA Gauteng playoffs, which will make the team eligible to be promoted to ABC Municipal League. But all that will be happening. You're correct to say that no spectators will be allowed. We've seen it in the South Africa Championship and the PSL. Our regulations are still tight because of the COVID numbers. But this will be happening. It will be played at still A and B. Yes.
Interesting. 23 minutes after 7 o'clock. That is Mr. Machesa then. Just so after, let's say you guys win this coming weekend, what's the next step?
Yes, we're hoping for a TUT FC versus Vikings FC final on Sunday at 3 o'clock. If that happens, one of the teams will go through to the SAFA Gauteng playoffs. SAFA Gauteng, it means we'll meet with the other regions in Gauteng, such as Ekurhuleni, we'll meet Sedibeng, SAFA Johannesburg, and it will be SAFA Tshwane as well. They'll play against each other, the winners from all those regions, and then the finalists will then be promoted to the ABC Municipal League.
Interesting. 24 after 7 o'clock. That is Mr. Kgomo Machesa speaking to us at this point in time. And Mr. Machesa, do you have any closing arguments for the listener at home?
Yeah, from my side, I think the first one is to say we believe in our women's football team and the players and those working with them. And we hope that the awards that are happening tonight, they will lift them, the trophies that they will receive there. And also to close off the year in style, TUT. I mean, the COVID has really affected us, but the ladies has continued to be the flagship of the university. Secondly, is to wish both teams well, as we hosted the function today, but also mind and say we can make it to the higher league, and we have all the faith and trust in both teams that they can make it to the next level as we prepare. We are fully prepared, and we believe in the technical team and the players to go all the way.
Interesting. 25 after 7 o'clock. That was Mr. Kgomo speaking to us from the Tshwane University of Technology. Mokete Machesa, have a great evening, my friend. Hello?
Yes, Mr. Mokete.
I'm saying thank you so much. May you have a great evening, sir.
Oh, thanks very much. Same to you and the listeners.
Awesomeness.
Yes.
It's 25 minutes after 7 o'clock. Tshwane FM 93.6. It's exactly where you are at this point in time. Let's go to the shops and get in with a bit of music.
The fact that you took a shower after having unprotected sex with an HIV positive woman, believing that it would minimize your risk, has really angered AIDS activists. What is your response to their criticism?
But if we have been in the kitchen, my dear, peeling onion, you wash your hands, not so. But what's funny about washing my hands after doing something, after washing myself, what's the problem?
But Mr. Zuma, AIDS is a big problem in this country. And saying things like
And
taking a shower.
Hygiene is a big problem in this country. Clean yourself.
Ngabe kasishadanga impela umendo kawuthuyelela kundani phela mina kulo muzi singaphenduka inkunzi egundani mangibona babo la ekhaya ngiyabaleka wena wabona ikati negundani nje esikhaleni sivele sihubhane esikungiqayeda ngehubhane sengaphenduka inhlekisa ngomakhelwane izindaba zomuzi wami lona phephe lisengisako makhelwane umyeni wami seyaphenduka isilwane unobuhlobo esikhaleni vele lapho ngobulwane akafuni isebenze ukuthi sibambisane yebo ufuna ukuthi sibambisane ukuthi silisane sokaba yona romance ukuthi sidudulane zona lokhu bengibiza ngesidudla sakhe isidudula sakhe kepha namhlanje sidudula isidudla sakhe hleze ngibana ney'ndonga bheka siziyatshela nengabi ikwazisebenzela thina asikaze sakhe sasizohulumeni noma sisukume sakhe ngabe kasishadanga kube ngangazi usilayikha ngangazange ukuzoba ngosikazi kepha ngizoba i-punching bag abahlezi beyiphisa igazi bagazi sengakhali izinyembe zegazi kube ngangazi ngangeke ngikuzaleni indodakazi wazisephela mina neyakho indodakazi sisaphenduka wakho amakhosikazi kazi enjani le ndoda elala neyayo indodakazi maqade iphendulo wani nkosikazi kube ngangazi ngangike ngigoma ukuqhelwa ngenyongo ngoba ekuhambeni kwesikhathi ujikile waphenduka inyongo wangivusela ushukela nenyongo wangilayo ubizwa ngesakhe isibongo nasebusuku akusaphika ubuthongo wazisephela kongihlezi ngirongo I guess is your favorite song. Ngabe kasishadanga oh hey ngiyakhumbula kukuhle kwethu kuculwa sesijawile sibakho onke amegayibheki ethina ikhophoza ninokubheka phansi mina wena wangashalazi wasisephela washapho lokho funa uzoqina nangempela waqina wonke umuntu wayicacela ukuthi sakuthokozela ukuthatha injabulo ayigcwele ichichima kepha namhlanje usize kubhala ebusweni impela ukuhamba kuzala induna phela mhlasikade injabulo ayibhala ebusweni sangifakazela nesithombe somshado naso odongeni kepha sengicabanga nokususa odongeni ngoba sogcina sifile phela nomshawuza umphothe nasodongeni ngabikela bowakho umndeni kepha bathi abasidini oh hey ngiyakhumbula mhla sesicaweni sibahle sivunule sibahle sigqoke siconsa sinyembe sejabule lokhu siconsa baqala wena bakwakhe wakiya nami ngangapholisa amasekho ngakiya ngaqephuza ngakiya oh mama benelizele esicabeni sikuthizela wazi wafuna wakomela wathi awusoze wangikhathela wena izinto zakho esihlela awusoze wangifakela namke ngakholwa kwasela kini ngamakhona namke namhlanje singakholwa usingabakholwa yiyo yonke into eziyibona yimlo ngasakwazi ukubona hayi ukuthi uthando liboni wena umshaka phela kamehlo bheka namhlanje ngisabonini sengisithibelo enyoni seyihlezi ngithukile kepha ikhaba ngiliyoni ubuso bami ubonile ushaya indodakazi yami ushaya usinayo ngesikhathi ushaya ibonile udelo wazi ukuthi washintshela le ndoda waweyiyo sinakashada phela mina bengisizobuna kangazi ukuthi ushada wena ufukile ngokuzibhenisa nami kube kangazi ngabe kasishada
I'm not scared of lies.
tigers or bears. I'm not scared of snakes, alligators, or crocs. I'm not scared of the men who carry bombs, guns, or knives. I'm not scared of the men who beat, rape, or kill. I'm not. But I'm scared of the devil. In her silk, burgundy, blonde, or brunette hair, the one with the clean, properly done manicure, ready to dig in my business. Her. The one who is ready to bite or badmouth me for a seat at the men's table, applauding the cheating men at the expense of selling out an entire sisterhood. Her. The one who's quick to notice my hair is messy but can never lend me a comb. The one who is quick to notice the tear in my shoe and not the one in my eye. The one who thinks it's cool to call my man bestie or sugar, knowing very well that it's a recipe for adding salt to my plate. The woman who tells a man, you should leave your woman. She's just petty and she's not your type. I'm still trying to figure out what points these judges who pick types. That woman who thinks because she's a friend of a man, our boundaries are unnecessary unless it's her turn. And then when the tables start to turn, she starts to pray about it, fervently setting up all sorts of war rooms, and she writes in a diary of a mad black woman. The devil who meditates and prays that your relationship or marriage fails so she can look you in the face and tell you, you ain't shit. The one who invented being a side dish because she had a point to prove, and oh yes she did, because now we just discovered that men can multitask and we are all just delicacies at a big feast. The one who's willing to wreck a home because she is just an unstoppable hurricane. Oh well, just because she can. The devil who without struggle holds tightly a green beneath a frown, and she thinks that the other sisters are not trying, and because she is managing, the other ones are just lazy, and these single moms are just loose. But the devil has performed deletion processes in her room with Doctor Who. So you see, maybe the devil doesn't know that it's much easier to fix another woman's crown than to laugh at her dress, because you have to look down first. And you know, this maternal gene shit is a story way past its prime, because the devil is female and she just does not care. Currently living on earth and hell, she vacations there. You see, a woman's greatest enemy is a woman. It's that image I look at in the mirror every day when I wake up, and I am scared of her.
For his grace.
With zest.
Grab your ears around 93.6.
All hits, all day, and it's all yours. Wait on me. Ishabulile, bubufumu bemoa. Wait on me. When I'm born, shiny silly, bubufumu bemoa. Wait on me. When I'm born, I kishabulile, bubufumu bemoa.
The station with the best music. Best music.
I love music.
Best music. Your station. Your music. 93.6. South City's #1.
Later. How far?
Ziyateza zehla zenyuka zinyameze liqhabaga ndithenda ukubona zakazi kwaqaqambinhlisiyo ndithenda ukuyibona lenzwakazi kwaqeqa amadolo ndithenda ukuyibona lenzwakazi
Patata mitisiyo Kitenda kuyuna Twalasi Kwateka matolo Ukutebale Twala Siyokomo Ukutebale Twala Siyokomo Ukutebale Twala Siyokomo Ukutebale Inhliziyo yami ibuhlungu xa ndibona yena engumatshalo. Inhliziyo yami ibuhlungu ngokabani na. Ubuhle balethakazi buletha niberongo ngendlela mnandi. Ubuhle balethakazi buyandichaza. Isizathu kaphalane kumudihoko tatibiyani yabibiyesa nangomsa ndifumani tombetenza zivengalele mzulu embisweni yam andingankoloyiko ndingaliko phayana kuye obangaphandle kwanefakazi Tahlala ndikuthanda mna, tahlala ndicinga ngawe, tahlala ndizifela ngawe. Tahlala ndikuthanda mna, tahlala ndicinga ngawe, tahlala ndizifela ngawe.
It's your boy Drake. #1 music station. 93.6. Hot new music. Just like fire. What's up? This is Pink.
Tshwane.
Just like fire.
I love you like I'll never love again. I love you cause I know when you are got a friend. Boy, I love you cause you love me, that's never lit. I'm proud of everything that you've accomplished. But I'm standing over you, be my accomplice. Standing over one side when I was tarnished. For that, I would die another day just to bond with you. I appreciate the life that we share together. But I love you for the life we brought here together. I love you through the distance, the I love you text, the kisses, and I love the sex. But it hurts when the rumors come out. Who's who and who out, and I'm just human to doubt that. I wanna stay, I should take this, right? I love you, but I hate this life.
Siyahleka, siyakhala, ngiyahamba baby ngiyahlala, uyangilahla, uyangibamba, ngiyasivela nga. Siyahleka, siyakhala, ngiyahamba baby ngiyahlala, uyangilahla, uyangibamba. Ngifela ukuthi ngiyakuthanda, kube kuyanga, ngabe kade ngihamba. Ngiyasivela nga, akusenawo amandla okubekelela kusalayo ngiyathanda.
Listen, I love you so much, I hate it. I hate the fact that I gotta say this. I hate that all you see is girls naked. I hate the fact that you don't choose to see the hatred. Look, don't get me wrong, I don't hate you. I hate how you hate how I make what you hate, bullshit. I hate leaving you alone. I hate that I'm late when you're speaking to the phone, but that's what it takes to stay afloat. Real talk, that's what it takes to raise a daughter. Real talk. Now I'ma love you from this life to the next. But I swear I hate the stuff that you've accepted. Shit, I hate how this shit happens. I hate how I'm making it and we have it. How you believe every basic shit. I love you, I hate that shit.
Siyahleka, siyakhala, ngiyahamba baby ngiyahlala, uyangilahla, uyangibamba, ngiyasivela nga. Siyahleka, siyakhala, ngiyahamba baby ngiyahlala, uyangilahla, uyangibamba. Ngifela ukuthi ngiyakuthanda, kube kuyanga, ngabe kade ngihamba. Ngiyasivela nga, akusenawo amandla okubekelela kusalayo ngiyathanda. Ngiyasivela noma kuba nzima ngidawo. Ngiyasivela life ain't always easy, that much I don't know. Ngiyasivela noma kuba nzima ngidawo. Ngiyasivela 'cause I'm your ride or die, I'll never let you go. Ngifela ukuthi ngiyakuthanda, kube kuyanga, ngabe kade ngihamba. Ngiyasivela nga, akusenawo amandla okubekelela kusalayo ngiyathanda. Ngiyasivela nga, siyahleka, siyakhala, uyangibamba, yeah. Ngiyasivela ngawe, ngiyasivela ngawe, ngiyasivela ngawe, ngifela ukuthi ngiyakuthanda, kube kuyanga, ngabe kade ngihamba.
Yo, what up, Chibu Requester, the car, good boy, you're day one, K1 representative, and we out here, you tuning into Tshwane FM right now. 9 down. Wait, where you going? Where you going? Still right there. Turn it left.
Great music right there. It's 49 minutes after the hour, 7 o'clock. Just about 11 minutes before we make way for the e-gasm that is coming through between now and 11 o'clock with Ms. K. Now, news that are making headlines. Foreign nationals residing in Durban today said they had resolved to lobby international media to highlight the plight of, to highlight their plight after failing to get South African authorities to act on xenophobic violence. 2 weeks ago, foreign national operating shops in the workshop area of the Durban CBD were attacked and asked to leave the country. Some members of the Umkhonto weSizwe Military Veterans Association in KwaZulu-Natal, accompanied by homeless people, are believed to have been among those who ransacked and shut down shops owned by foreign nationals. Many foreigners said they had not been able to return to work. This is due to violent threats and lack of police intervention. The Bethano Ezeakulu of the Nigeria Citizens Association of South Africa said they wanted the international community to know about their issues. Ezeakulu said they were also preparing to defend themselves against future attacks. In other news making headlines, the city of Tshwane Mayor Randall Williams today condemned those responsible for terrorizing residents in the metro during strike action by the taxi industry. The National Taxi Alliance strike on Wednesday was met by acts of violence as taxi operators brought the capital to a standstill during a protest through the city over outstanding COVID-19 relief fund payments for their industry. Numerous accounts of violence and traffic obstructions were reported, with some passengers forcefully removed from a city of Tshwane bus, which led to the suspension of bus services. Williams said some residents were intimidated on their way to work, while bystanders were heckled for filming disruptions. And he did say that rather Williams did indicate that they were appealing for calm and that of the national government to make and that the national government makes an effort to engage the taxi operators because they understand that the strike is as a result of the COVID-19 relief funds which were not granted to the sector. Sure. In other news, internationally, the Lilongwe Magistrate Court in Malawi today ruled that the arrest of Shepard Bushira and his wife Mary was illegal and ordered the pair to be released from custody with no conditions. Hey, Ban! According to local media, Magistrate Viva Nyimba made the ruling based solely on the legality of the couple's arrest in that country and not their impending case in South Africa. It has been days since the pair fled South Africa undetected in contravention of strict bail conditions. They are now facing fraud, corruption, and money laundering charges, but Magistrate Nyimba said the couple's corruption trial would only be considered once papers for their extradition were processed. Sure. Police in the Northwest are investigating a case of murder after the bodies of 3 children were found in a scrapyard in Mzala village yesterday. The bodies of the 3 children, aged between 4 and 6, were discovered in one of the old unused cars in the yard by their grandmother. It is understood that 2 of the minors were siblings, while the other was a neighbor and best friend of the pair. According to reports, the grandmother left the children in the yard at approximately 10 a.m. to attend a funeral service in the same village. She returned home at about 15:30 and found the minors' lifeless bodies inside an old and unused vehicle that was parked in the yard. That was said by police spokesperson Sebata Mkhobane in a statement. This is the latest death involving minors in the province, and on Saturday, 3 children aged 8 and 10 after suffocating in an unused freezer. Another troubling story there. The South African music industry is mourning the death of Nomasonto Maswangai, better known as Umshoza, the musician dubbed the Queen of Kwaito for her bravery in taking on a male-dominated gender died this morning after battling with diabetes. Fans, friends, and colleagues of Maswangai have taken to social media to pay tribute to the Kwaito star. In further news, the SABC employees said queuing at the public broadcaster should start with top management, saying irate workers have been picketing at the public broadcaster's Auckland Park studios against planned Section 189 job cuts. The corporation said to go ahead with the retrenchments that will render 400 workers jobless. They can apply for 170 posts being made available, while workers upset over management's decision to push through with job cuts. They said that they will not allow retrenchments at Africa's largest broadcasting company to go ahead. Yeah, it seems as if that is all that we have at this point in time in terms of our news. We're just gonna go to a quick break. When we come back, we'll be playing more music for you.
What's going on? This is your mom, Mr. Lizima, and you are listening to Tshwane FM. Zaga, Ziggy,
All hits, all day. It's all yours.
Echa.
I could use it a hug.
Okay, Mzala. Let me just check these things quickly.
What's it look at life here? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh my gosh.
Kgomo Machesa.
Hey, I can get mix it, you know.
Span.
It's banana mat, everything. The koloi,
Sure.
That time Wi-Fi is available. I want to score at Marina Lato, so I want to
Parlendo na lita.
yeah, really lata for the past 3 days. I was 2 hours late. You can't get the appointment.
Hey.
You know, it's like, can a person just breathe? Oh my gosh. Oh God, every cup on your knees, I got not today, long time yet.
Ari.
I don't know, feet up, I was yielding. It's a yield sign. I'm going to go, you understand. I'm late all the time, I'm not in the mood today.
Yeah.
After all the things that's been going on, I was like, I'm going to just start the car on time, call my neighbor, who was telling me the battery issue goes on. It's like asleep. When I can't go in, it's hard. It's hard in this world. Okay, but why so many things? So many things. I couldn't have anything to happen.
I didn't switch it on today. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yes, yeah. I was like, hallelujah. Aircon works.
Oh, where's the batteries?
I feel the phone.
Unless if there's another one. There's people that took out the batteries.
The aircon worked
Perfectly.
yesterday.
Yeah. So you're gonna need the camera today again?
Again for the last time.
I don't want. Tomorrow I'm working on campus.
You're working on campus, okay. Then tomorrow I'm like, this is like about to sleep again, guys. Until I cannot spend a because apparently it takes an IT person.
It does not.
It does not.
I'll get someone for you.
Tomorrow I'll come through because I'm going to get Zina for the issue of the battery as well.
You have the camera?
Yeah, I've got it.
Bring it here. I'll bring
Once I
it
get
here.
the device manager.
Yeah.
You're coming in.
This man is late. Better now. It's 2 minutes. Just left. I need to just say bye bye on air. He's here. 10 minutes. We can't. She has a guest. I'm coming now.
Hey, so. You were supposed to be here.
7:30. Let me say goodbye.
Okay, and then we try and see what's good. And in the midst of all, you try your best to keep calm because panicking never helps.
Just let me tell you something that I've learned about this life. It's things that you can't control.
Just let them go, you know. I'm learning that young to be like, get over it, kid.
59 after 7 o'clock. That's where we ended tonight. That was Nati Manka. It's a song titled Imibuzo. We've been playing you great music, man. Before that, we had something by Vusi Nova. It's a song titled Ubuhle Bakho. And we had Questa with Nyazfela Ngawe. We had Samito with Ungowabe. Great music there. And just the young people that were also giving us their poetry there. This is where we leave it for tonight. It's a Thursday, it's my last day of the week. I'm back again next week, same time, same place. Miss K is in the house.
Hi, hello.
Yeah, my traffic.
Oh my goodness, but hello, baby. Where you going?
I gotta go.
How about Mokete is the night for girls? Girls do what they want.
Girls are allowed to get away with a lot. Like, can you just let me go? And like, no, we need to sort you. I get what with what?
But it's a miracle proposal.
Kana at the end, when I'm nana le nete ga propose ngwana ba tsule fela you. Na le maitseo, I let you go. I yielded. I yielded. It's a yield side.
Hi. Adam Hotel. K.Lock on top of the corner. This is where we live it. Miss K, what do you have for today?
You started it off, of course, with the great music that we do on #Great Girls Just Want to Have Fun Night. So I've been listening to you on the way here. It's like, okay, the pressure is on. The standard has been set. So we're following on to the steps of the great men who just did the right things.
This is where we leave it. Have yourselves a lovely weekend. I'm back again next week, Monday. I'm leaving you in the capable hands of Miss K. She'll be with you all the way to 11 o'clock with the eargasm.
Yeah.
Some of the judges, they don't need your qualification.
Just
they have nothing to do with your education, boy. Since it was 1909, 1910,